Set functional goals, things that people can actually come on board and run with, and not just personal development plans on people's board or say on or for your organization. Okay, guys, welcome to Blueprint. My name is Richard Joseph, and on this episode of the Digital Branding Gist, myself and Teniola Bello will be executing and strategizing and killing. Oh, we're talking about Car45 today.
Yeah.
Talking about Car45, and we're going to explore what the digital landscape looks like for them. We're going to talk about their branding strategy offline and online.
Yeah.
We're going to see how they're performing, and we have a whole lot of gist for you today. Just stay tuned, enjoy, and see you on the flip side. Right, Teniola, take it over.
Hi guys, you're welcome to today's show. I hope you enjoyed the last show. If you did, you should not forget to subscribe because we have so many gists for you about so many brands as well as various companies. If you want us to talk about your business, come on, we're ready. Just send us your name and every other details via the link below. Anyways, today we'll be talking about Cars45. It's one of Nigeria's biggest and largest car auction service provider, and they sell like hundreds of cars consistently. It's an amazing brand. It was founded by 4 people: Etop Ipe, Yamu Mohammed, Suje Tile, and Peter Lindholm or something in 2016. Yeah. So it was founded in 2016 by these 4 people, but when we were doing our research, we found out that 2 of the founders have actually left, especially one of the very popular ones, which was Itop or something. Yeah, Itop. He actually left. I don't know why. We don't know why, but we'll probably check out to see what was the reason. It will eventually come out, so maybe we'll just about that one of these days. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm sure we will.
Cars45, they were set up to bring about better information, trust, liquidity to Africans' used car markets, because Africa so far, let's say Nigeria to be precise, since that's where I stay. So in Nigeria, it's really hard for you to get like cars with car dealers, and at the end of the day, you get like what you paid for. Because there's this distrust between the people that are selling and the people that are buying. So Cars45 was created to bridge the trust gap between the buyers and the sellers. And I believe they've actually been doing a very fantastic job. Alright? They are in Nigeria, they're in Ghana, and I think they're in Kenya. Yeah. And obviously, let's go to where we are digitally. You can find them on Google search, organic search generally. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also with in apps, because they focus majorly on online ads, especially Google ads. In Google ads, you find them in apps, like when you download an app and you want to download something, you can just see that Cars45 pop-up ad coming up and all that. So it's really fantastic. They're everywhere. They're blowing our minds and they're doing very, very, very good job. Yeah. So RJ, I don't know how far has it been with your branding, because I mean it's not my spec. So
Well, if we have to look at the branding landscape for Car45, it's quite interesting. And one thing I'll touch base on with regards to their branding is their brand promise. And I hope to expound on this moving forward, because I mean it's really creative to think that a digital car service provider or auction provider, right, will be able to sell your car in 45 minutes. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, how do they do this, right? So we're gonna expound on that moving forward. Right. These are some touch points we need to take a look at. One thing that really came into mind when I was reviewing this brand was like, going back to look at this brand. I remember how cars are being sold in Nigeria, or how
Yeah.
cars are being sold in so many African states. If you remember as a child growing up in Nigeria, you have like kum like those whole
Yeah.
5 liter jerry can, and
Yeah.
then if your father had a car, he was going to sell it, just going to put water inside the 5 liter jerry can and then place on top of the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after like 2 years, hopefully you get a buyer. If you don't get a buyer, then the car tires are all messed up and stuff, right? And
Yeah.
Car 45 just reinvented that entire wheel by helping you get access to ready markets to sell your cars to, right? And they
Yeah.
did that all digitally. So I mean, if you look at their brand touch points, how they communicate with their users, how they communicate with their clients,
Fantastic.
taking into considerations the
Yeah.
business they intend to offer, it's a real good revolutionary service. And I mean, if you want to even go into their competitors, Checky was there. We have a lot of other better cars, but how they are able to deliver a brand promise of selling the car in 45 minutes is something that just amazes my mind. And from a quick research I did, and a couple of people asked a couple of questions, it's like they are trusted
Yeah.
because if there's one thing they've been able to do, right, they've been able to bring themselves close to consumers. So
Mm-hmm.
you can find them in certain strategic locations around your neighborhood because they own shops. And the one thing that they do that makes total sense is, see, mostly when you're going to buy a car, right, they
Yeah.
really took care of their customer journey mapping, right? They
Mm-hmm.
understood their customer pain points, and that sat so well with me because I don't really see businesses starting out on the
Sure.
digital space taking into consideration
Sure.
who their customers are, developing user personas for them and stuff, right? But
Sure.
Car45 in this case did that. If you look back at how they deliver the service to their consumers, you will see that they have mechanics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before you list your car on their platform, a mechanic has to check the car specification, and to make sure that it matches with whatever you're putting on the platform, right?
Yeah.
And after that, if you come to buy the car, right, the mechanic, their own mechanic will go with you to go check on the car you're buying and make sure that it fits the specs the user uploaded on the platform. Just to make sure that, see, they're delivering the brand promise of selling the car, one, but secondly, they're selling the car with a certain expectation. You're getting value for money. Because if you're buying a car worth 5 million naira, you should get the car worth 5 million naira. Looking at the specs, looking at the engine capacity and the rest. If you're buying a car 1 million naira, it should all fall in place. So
Sure.
the thorough look at how their consumers will relate with their branding. I mean, that experience, that feeling they want the consumer to have is something that really fascinated me. So with regards to branding, I mean, they really did well, and they didn't just look at it's not about, like I said, branding is not about your logo, right? A lot of other things go into branding, so you have to think about your consumers and stuff.
Yeah.
So Car45 has done well in that space, and you can see that with their user generated content. See, people actually are so fascinated with the fact that they buy Car45 from Car45, and then they post pictures
Yeah.
on social
Right.
media. And Tene, I think that's something you might take us into and discuss about that moving forward. That's my summation on brand. They've done great. There are
Yeah.
other loopholes we'll discuss later at the end
Yeah.
of this summation, but let's move forward.
Okay, yeah, thank you, RJ. So, taking it up from there, I actually checked them a lot online. I did like serious research. I would just talk about their content, then move to their UI UX, and move to their SEO and all that. So, as regards content, I noticed that they interact more on Twitter than on other platforms. On Instagram, I really love. It's really majorly cars, right? They just post about cars and then some photo content, right? But I would love if they also have like some interactions about them and the consumers. But I love the fact that they also put customer highlights, seller of the week or something. They talk about their retailers, and it's really nice because I believe that should be their target audience. You know, the sweetest part also about Cars45 is that it's not just owned by Cars45, it was made into a franchise. So anybody can buy into it and you just use the name to sell your car. So it just makes everything, smooth and sweet that way. Aside from that, I also noticed that they interact more on Twitter and on Instagram. They have beautiful highlights. I love all things regarding their highlight, because it tells you everything that you need to know about your business, about their businesses, without you visiting their websites, which is what we are saying, what we said the last time. As regards our last video, we talked about your brand translating what is offline online, and I think they tried a little in doing that on their Instagram pages, which is really cool, right? As for their marketing strategy, I love the fact that they aim to increase client trust and transparency in the market. It really makes like a lot of sense. So they do the trust thing, they make it affordable to their clients, and they're also transparent. And in 2 years with consistency, Cars45 has been able to gain like huge brand visibility and brand loyalty. It stands as a car brand that you can actually trust. So visiting their UI UX, that is their website interaction and all that, I love that their homepage is straight to the point. When you visit it, whether you are a layman or you are techie, it doesn't matter, because whatever you need, it's provided directly on the homepage. What is it? You came to buy something one day. Hi, good afternoon. What do you want? How much things do you want? Blah blah blah. It's really cool. The other thing that I found quite uncool was the fact that the bot was off from beginning to end. It was sorry we're not available at the moment. We'll attend to you when we get back. And I didn't really like that, right? I would have preferred if their website was quite interactive and their bot was also interactive with me, because I might have like some inquiries or some questions that I will need them to answer and they're not there, right? I also noticed the same about their mobile app. Their mobile app has like huge downloads, I think 100k plus or 1000k plus.
I think it's
was
50K.
quite impressive. Like they have good downloads. However, when I was checking their reviews, we were putting up reviews, but there was no, comments from them. They were not really interacting with their customers, and I feel that that's not so nice. I mean, we are the ones buying, so they should interact with us. But aside from that, I love them, and they are quite amazing. Then on SEO, as regards SEO, what we're doing on an SEO analysis, they have a domain score of 45, a domain traffic of 4,597. They are usually their traffic is usually about 270 per month, and they are ranking on 62 keywords. Now this was the part that we're talking about, the last video that we had. We were talking about the GIGM brand. The GIGM brand, we said that they didn't interact. They did not rank on any keywords, but here is Cars45 ranking on 62 amazing keywords, and it's really nice. I love that. I really love that about them. Right. So I've talked about their mobile app. I've talked about their UI UX and customer interactiveness. We just like to, I don't know anybody that can reach out to them. Maybe you tag them below, to help us interact with our customers or interact with us so that we can enjoy them as well, right? So that's like very cool. So we'll just talk about the observations and solutions before we proceed. Like I said before, I had two major observations. Number one, their bot was offline when I logged on till when I logged off, and there were no customer interaction in their mobile app. On their mobile app, and even on social media, I think they actually do interact more on Twitter, but I don't know if they interact with their clients or customers or audiences on Instagram. I would prefer, it would be nice actually if they do amazing job on that aspect as well, because they are losing customers via that notion. So I would prefer that they also interact wonderfully with their clients and all that. For comparative analysis, I remember we checked Cars45 with Checky.ng. Checky.ng has been on like way before Cars45, but Cars45 came to the market to disrupt everything,
I know, right?
They really took over. They took over the market, yeah. But when we were doing the comparative analysis, we found out that Cars45 was actually ranking amazingly. You see, Cars45 is the blue chart above, while the red one below is that of Checky.ng. Checky doesn't really interact very well online, but I'm sure they must be doing a good job offline for them to be that popular. They also have a mobile app as well, and they don't also interact with their customers. So I feel that they should work very more. They should work a lot on their online customer interaction, because these are the things that clients, customers, and audiences as well are looking forward to. So I think that's like all about our research for Cars45 when it comes to customer interaction, UI UX, and SEO. So I'll turn it back to RJ as regards branding. If he has anything he wants to add, plus, minus, and all that.
Okay, so I just want to take it off from the point where, like I spoke about the customer promise, their brand promise rather,
Yeah.
and well, I don't know how best they deliver on that, but certain time for the 5 minutes it's an outrageous brand promise, and maybe it's a catchy way to draw people in to use the platform. But then
Yeah.
again, do they actually deliver on that brand promise? That's the question that users of the platform would have to ask or answer. But here's the case, right? We understand that for me, I believe that's just a way to draw people in. And secondly, yes, they do help you get access to ready markets to get your car or to buy your car. So the brand promise is something I think we have to review, but I think it's a good way to draw people in. Maybe that's their future positioning. So they are thinking about say 10 years from now how they want to be seen. But even looking at that, right, I want to just touch base on their recent like Teniola mentioned earlier. Two of their major co-founders have left the organization. So one who was the CEO, Eto Ikpe,
Etop Ikpe, yeah.
So Eto Ikpe left the company earlier, somewhere late around August this year.
Yeah.
For some reason, we have no idea. But I'm just looking at how that is influencing their brand promise, one, and how that is going to influence the brand perception moving onward. Because, they came out with a certain press release distancing themselves from a couple of people who were working with them earlier. It was really taunted on social media. It became bad press for them that they had to pull that content down. So currently, like from where I sit, it doesn't look like brand perception is really on edge like it used to be, say 6 months ago, say 1 year ago. But I hope that they will really put themselves together, the management team, the shareholders. They're going to make sure that their visions and goals are well aligned so that they can work towards a unified goal and then continue to deliver on their brand promise. One. Secondly, another observation I made is that the tone and voice they communicate with is just something that stood out to me, right? And I don't really see a lot of brands do that.
Yeah.
And it will be helpful to know that, Nigeria, basically, the average illiterate or the most illiterate in Nigeria probably speaks pidgin English, right? So they incorporated that into their merchandise, their brand materials, marketing materials, basically, so that they can onboard more people to use their platform. So another thing I like to talk about is one aspect they intend to. I don't know how they work around that, but they now ship cars for you from the international market, right? So they are trying to pull away the importer-exporters thing so you can deal with actual people.
Yeah.
But then again, I think they are doing well in their space. They can improve on a lot of things, especially with the issue with their co-founders leaving. I don't know what position that would render their brand to look like in the next coming months or years. With all of this said, the last thing I'll say is, as much as possible, right? As much as we are going to have Thomas and stuff as team members, right? Once the goal is unified, this examples you can take from Steve Jobs, right?
Yeah.
The Apple brand is still doing perfectly well, even after Steve Jobs left, right? Because the core vision for setting up the company, it was functional, and it's all functional within the team. So let's try to set functional goals, things that people can actually come on board and run with, and not just personal development plans on people's board or say for your organization. With that, I've come to the end of my submission, and Teniola,
Yeah,
let them
good to know.
please do well to if you enjoy these submissions, like the content, do well to subscribe, hit the notification. Where is that button? Is it left, right, down? No, hit the smash it, just smash the notification button, subscribe, and then stay in touch. We're gonna be in touch with you.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and Facebook account at Blueprints. Just check at Blueprints, BLOOPRNT, and you'll see us live. We're there for you with tips and codes and some nice stuff that will keep you engaged till our next video. As well, don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe and love this video. If you love it, just like it and subscribe for our next one. We're coming hot and stronger.
It's a wrap from us. See you on the flip side on a different episode. Really enjoy having you here.
See you guys. Bye.